Hey, Professor Homa, back for part 3 of our book cover, the one I'm using, the Maryland colorized picture. And what I'm going to do now is finish this up. I'm just going to put some text on the bottom, and then we're going to export it as a PDF, and we should be done. And what I'm going to do so far, and again, what I'm going to do is do this part at the bottom. And I could put these together in one text box, and then this would be a text box. So that's what I'm going to do, and what I should have done already is save this. So I'm going to save this, and this would be an InDesign file. I'm saving it in a book cover folder, and I have another InDesign here, and I'll just call it 2 again, because this is my second one. I'll call it Maryland 2, and you could call it book cover, or if it has some kind of identifiable image, you could use that image as long as it has your name in it, and as long as you have it in your book cover project folder, you should be good. We'll know it's the right one, as long as you're consistent. So I'm going to save this, and this is my InDesign file, INDD. And again, we're going to save it as PDF so people could open it, because not everybody has InDesign. Now, instead of typing another box and making another box down here, I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to just use my arrow, and I could do a Option drag, and I'll just make a copy of it, and I'll bring it down, and I'll keep it the same width so it's centered. Now, obviously, it's hard to read in white, or it's hard to read in purple, so I'm going to highlight it and make it white. And again, I'm going to go up here, and notice I'm in Essentials right now, and I typically put it in Advanced. I typically have our students kind of work in Advanced when they do that, so I should probably change this a little bit. That interface will look better. Again, this is what I'm talking about. If you're in one column, make sure that's 2, because it's easier to hit this preview button, which I like to look at in preview. Okay, so I'm going to make this white, so you just go down here and choose paper. That's the way you really want to find white. That'll be the true white. And if you wanted to double click and see what white is, you could see it's 0, 0, 0, 0 of all those colors. Cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, 0. It's the opposite of the way RGB works. RGB 0, 0, 0 is all black. And this is opposite because it's a subtractive color. You subtract the color from them to get back to what the paper color is. So you're taking away the ink. So anyway, that's our paper color we have in there, and I'm going to call that a novel by. And I guess that looks okay. I'm not sure if this should be lowercase or not. First capital letters there. I guess I'll leave it like that. This should be a little smaller. This is just a little, afterthought kind of thing. So I'll go down to like 24 with that. And I could hit a return after here. I don't have to put it in a separate box. So I'm going to hit return, and I'm going to put my name. You could put your name, just to kind of advertise yourself. And it's in the same font right now, and I'm going to make it a little bigger and bolder, I think. So I'll make it maybe like 30, and you can see what happened. It didn't disappear. It's just the box needs to be stretched down a little bit, and there it is. And I could leave it in that font. It doesn't look bad like that, but I'm going to make it straighter, and I'll take it out of italic. Maybe I'll make it bold. That looks okay. Maybe I'll make it small caps. I think I made it small caps, and it's a little big now. So I'll take it down a little bit. I'm not a famous author. I don't need to make it that, but that looks pretty good. Let me look at my original, how I did it there. Yeah, I guess that's pretty good. Looks a little bigger, but that looks fine. I'm going to move it down a little bit. I want it down kind of in this area right underneath her collar. I want it framing her. I'll zoom out, but I want it framing her nicely. And the attention should be on her, not on the title. And again, put on preview so that you can see everything. And that looks pretty good. I mean, it looks good just like that. We don't necessarily have to put that little thing on the bottom. I actually like it better like this, without that little extra thing on the bottom. But I'll put that on the bottom just to show what it looks like. Then if you don't want to use it, just so you know how to do that. So I'll move this up just a little bit. I'll just show how I did that. I just took my text tool, and I just made a box and drug all the way across. And I'm going to select that box and give it a fill color of white. Now again, same area, but this is for the box because I'm on the arrow. So I'm going to give it a fill color of paper, and then I'm going to click my text tool in there, and I'm going to type. I'll just highlight that. I'll center it. Now to center it up and down, you can see by default all the text goes to the top of a text box. There is icons over here that I could use to center it in the middle, but just so you know where that is, it's under Object Text Frame Options. And they have an area here called Vertical Justification Align Center. Seems like a lot to get to just to center something up and down. Vertical Justification Align Center. That's what it is. I'll hit OK. But there are icons in advance to do that. And it's a little small right now, so I'm gonna highlight it. Maybe I'll even leave it in maybe I'll make it black and make it gray. Now I'm not going to use a CMYK gray. I'm just going to tint down the gray a little bit, make it like maybe 70%, just kind of a nice gray. I'll make it bold because it's going to be small, so I don't want it to be too hard to read. And that looks okay like that. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'll double click on it and highlight it. Maybe I'll do it all caps, and maybe I'll spread it out. I'll use tracking this time. I used tracking before just to kind of tighten it, just to kind of make it look nicer for a title. But for down here, I'm going to spread it out. I'm going to use tracking. Maybe I'll use like 100, maybe even 200. Just kind of spread it out down here. And that might be a little big, but I want the reason I'm spreading it out now. It's spreading it out for look, but I also want it to look lighter. Sometimes when you spread out the letters, it looks lighter. And I'm taking gray so it doesn't get as much attention. Maybe I'll even make the gray a little less. I'll go in here. I had it black. It's 70%. Maybe I'll make it 60 or close to it. I like to stay, you know, at the tens, and I'll zoom in here too, because I noticed on my other one I had a little bit of edge, and that's okay. I have the white to the edge. I think on the other one, my sample, the white doesn't go all the way to the edge, so I'll do Command 0. I'll see the whole area here, and it actually looks pretty nice. And I'll make this just a little smaller, and that looks nice. The border, I could either, you know, move this off and move this down. You know, it looks nice like that. And maybe I'll save this one without the bottom part. But I just wanted to show how to do that. Now, if you don't see it, that's because I went out of, I was in preview mode. But I can use it either way. So I'm going to save this one. I'll save my file, my InDesign file. And now what I'm going to do is I'll export it as a PDF. And that'll be kind of my finished version. That way I can show it for portfolio or whatever I want to do for it. I could put it online. I could bring the whole thing into Photoshop and, you know, do anything I want with it. And you could also distribute to people in PDF format, which you can't always do in InDesign because people don't have InDesign on their computer all the time. But PDF is a nice format for people to open and keep it looking the way it's supposed to look. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll put it in preview mode here, but I kind of like that. I think that looks nice. You could, you know, tweak these a little bit, but it's a nice opportunity to do a little design work, to do a little Photoshop work, and then do publishing work, which we're doing right now. So I'm going to save it. Notice there's an asterisk there, so it's not saved yet. So I'll do File, Save, and I'm going to export it. And I'm going to do File, Export, and I'm going to save it as a PDF, and that's the first PDF it comes up as, and it has Print Interactive, so I'm going to use Print, and it's coming up with the same name, so I could just use the same name, and it's putting the .pdf. And it's giving me some options here. The best quality would be press quality. If you wanted the best quality, you don't have to do it for this, but press quality would be the best quality. If you're just doing it internally, high quality print is fine too. I'll do it as high quality print, should be fine for what we're doing now. But press quality, if you were sending it somewhere for press, that's the option that you'd want to use. And it's only one page right now, and I'm going to export it. And it's going to export behind the scenes. You won't see it open up. The only way you're going to see it is if you go find it, and then this is the one, then you open it up. I'll double click on it. In the Mac, it opens up in preview. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit on it, and there's that version. And I'll look at this one, zoom out on this one, and compare them, see which one I like better. The one I did first, and I think I like the one, I don't know, they both look nice. Use both, but I think I like this version a little better, a little cleaner than, you know, than the lines here are a little more noticeable and that thing in the bottom, but they both look pretty nice. So we did a little publishing, did a little colorizing, worked with typography a little bit. Notice I was very consistent. I used the same font, just 2 families of fonts throughout, and gave kind of a nice look to this color. And I made sure I left space because I knew I was going to put a title in the upper third here, and I used that dark background to put some white type over it. So that's our book cover.